In less than 10 minutes, I'll be giving you a summary of living in Germany. Let's kick off by talking about a very German ritual, which is registering your apartment and doing this every time you move. I've had to do this 5 times because I've lived in 5 different apartments so far. So this registration, which is called an Anmeldung if you're doing it for the first time, or an Ummeldung if you're doing this, because you have moved to a new place within a city or to a new place in a new city. Anyway, all the meldungs. This is simply updating your address with the local citizens office called the Bürgeramt. Amongst other things, this ensures that the government reaches you and that you are able to receive mails and correspondences correctly to your mailbox. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that when you write a German address, the house number comes after the street name and the zip code before the city? It's one of those things that takes some time to adjust to, especially coming from Nigeria, where we write these things the other way around. Meanwhile, how are addresses written in your own country? Let me know in the comment section. Let's talk about housing. Germany has a logical way of naming houses. For example, a house for a single family is called Einfamilienhaus, which literally translates to a one-family house. The most common type, though, is a Mehrfamilienhaus, which refers to apartment buildings for multiple families. So remember, we said logical naming. Then there's shared apartment or shared living called Wohngemeinschaft, or popularly known as WG. This is very common among students and young professionals. I have stayed in one of these, and let me tell you something, it's a money saver. Now, while owning a home in Germany is great, less than half of the population actually own their own homes, with around 52% of the population opting for rental apartments. Can you believe that? Only 48% own their own homes, which is among the lowest in Europe. Most people would rather rent, even though this is beginning to change in recent years with more and more people becoming homeowners. And in terms of renting, the cost of renting in Germany varies from city to city. And in an expensive city like, say, Munich and Stuttgart, rent can come at an average of €17 per square meter. While in cheaper cities, you can find this for an average of about €9 per square meter. This, of course, depends on variables such as location, how old the building is, as well as supporting amenities. And prices will generally get higher as you go closer to the city center. And for those who love a quirky lifestyle, Germany has seen a rise in alternative housing. So think houseboats, vans, or tiny houses. In German, that would be kleine Häuser. Because sustainability and minimalism is also a big trend here. Now, renting in Germany is not just about finding a good apartment. You also need to know about Kaltmiete, which translates as cold rent and just covers for the space, and Warmmiete, which is warm rent, which includes the space and other utilities such as heating, sometimes electricity, water, and the rest of it. And let's not forget deposit. It's called caution, which is typically 3 times of your cold rent. This deposit is returned to you when you leave, provided you do not damage anything. Oh, and the one that surprises everyone, you have to pay radio and TV bill, even if you don't use it. It's ridiculous. Every time I say this, I always say it's ridiculous. I know, but what can we do? This is charged per household, so if you have roommates, you're all going to split the bill. However, if you stay alone, it is what it is. You have to pay by yourself. In any case, all these little details are usually included in your rent contract. In Germany, rental contracts are usually super detailed. Everything from whether you can have a pet to how often you should air the rooms and even how much noise you're allowed to make. So be sure to read your contract carefully. One thing that shocks a lot of people is you have to bring your own kitchen. Yes, everything from cabinet to stove, everything. If the apartment comes with a kitchen, it's often, in most cases, more expensive. Now let's talk about the homes themselves. Doorbells are marked with the names of the occupants for easy identification for both delivery guys as well as visitors. Many German homes also come with a keller, which is a storage space that is usually in the basement. And if you're lucky, you get a balcony too. These features, especially balconies, are very desirable and can increase the cost of rent. Wood and laminate flooring are common in Germany, although tiles are standard in bathrooms. And because the floors can be chilly, especially if you don't have a heated floor, most people have house shoes, with Birkenstocks being the most popular choice. But personally, I prefer my Crocs. I don't know, I just feel they are more comfortable. Also in Germany, everyone knows the exact square meter of their homes. Well, maybe not everyone, but this is very common. This is a very important information when renting or buying an apartment, of course, alongside location and all the different things. Back home in Nigeria, we don't really talk about the square meter of the apartment. We just say it's 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and that's it. Nobody really talks about how big the actual space is. But here it's different. People think about the size, the actual size of the apartment when considering if it's worth paying what is being requested in terms of cost. Now, one thing I absolutely love about German homes are the windows. They are large, letting in plenty of natural light, and they can open in 2 ways. Just beautiful. These types of windows are quite different from what's obtainable outside of Europe. But what I don't love so much is the lack of enough power outlets, especially in older buildings. So extension cords have to be your best friend. For a better gist of German apartments, I made a video of a tour of our 1,000 euro a month apartment here in Hamburg, and you can check that video here. Until next time, do have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.